You know, I'm going to tell you something that nobody never talks about, or very few talk about, but we're going to get down to that. You know, when I lived in Memphis, there was a spiritual shop in Memphis, and it deal with spiritual things and of all kinds. See, some of you people, you young folks don't know that, about hexes and shit that people put on you. And you think, no, that don't happen. Oh, yes, it do. It happens calmer than you think. Let me tell you a story real quick. I was in there, and yeah, I went because, I like, I bless my house. And then sometimes if you ever get a chance, use sandalwood soap. It makes you feel good, smell good, all that. It's a positive vibe. So anyway, I was in the store one day, and I was buying some sandalwood soap. And this woman came in, and she said, hey, I need to know, what can I do to put I need to have this man leave his wife to come be with me. And the woman was like, okay. So she said, well, what do you want? She said, I need a ritual for put this thing on this woman, on this man, so that he can leave his wife and come to me. He want to be with me, but he said he can't. I said, okay, now, that got my attention, 100% now, because I'm listening. Woman went, got a black candle. She told, it was shaped like what is it? One of them saints, but it was a black candle. I don't know, it was black. She went and got some paper. Got a red pen. Told that lady exactly what to do, how to do it and everything. Told her what did she need from him to make it happen. But the lady said, before I sell it to you, I want to make sure I tell you something. She said, what? She said, whatever that you put on that woman or that man has to come back to you. That's a deep thing. See, a lot of things, I'm going to tell you something. It's a lot of people today have literally sold their souls to get stuff here. You don't know. That's why I don't put welcome signs in front of my house. You don't know who you letting in your house. That's why I don't invite certain people to my house. Because I'm going to tell you something. And this is something that's true. Do you know when that hex, she get this man through a hex, whatever spirit that he has, when she have sex with him or intertwine with him, it's going to come on her. Some of y'all don't understand why that, when you getting this man and he going through so much and you get with him, then all of a sudden you going through something and you thinking, oh, well, I'm trying to help you. Baby, you better watch out, because some of this stuff, baby, is not of natural norm. And you said, Samantha, you just so crazy, girl. You need to stop it. It's true. It's a lot of people are putting spells on folks just to get them, or because they mad at them, or because of this. You said, well, how do I prevent myself? That's why, I stay prayed up. That's what that statement that says no weapon formed against me shall prosper. It ain't got to be in a physical sense. It can be more of a spiritual sense. Because you don't know. I hear so many folks talk about the Illuminati and all of that and stuff like that. Okay, well, you know what? Black folks got their own Illuminati. Poor people got their own Illuminati. Somebody that's envy and jealous got their own Illuminati. You be careful. You be careful. That's why, you know what, when they say, well, you superstitious. That's why when my man cut his hair, I don't throw it away. I get rid of it. I don't fool with it. No. I tell him, I said, well, you know what? He said, well, you do my hair. What about yours? I said, well, I don't just throw my hair away. I don't get rid of my hair. Not like that. You say, well, how you do it? I say, I dispose of it, but I don't get rid of it like that. Because you got to realize something. Everybody think that everybody is a child of God. No, that ain't true. That ain't true. If the devil can come to Jesus and talk to Jesus about doing something, well, who are you? You more easier than he is. But you know, I tell my son all the time, get to know that woman. Spend some time with her. Talk to her. Don't be so in a hurry to take her home and meet her. No. I'm going to tell you, when I was dating and I had young kids, oh, no, it was 3-4 months before you met mine. Shoot, it was 2 or 3 months before you even knew where I was stayed at. If you even got invited. No, because why? Because you don't know, meeting somebody and say, oh, well, you can come to my house. Let's have dinner. No, you don't know that person that you actually getting involved with. I'm going to be honest. I have done some stuff when I was heartbroken. I'm going to tell you one time. When my heart was broken, I got into a relationship with somebody. I did. And I had a habit at that time of when you get in the house, you put your keys in a certain spot. I used to have a key hanger right next to the door so that, you know what, when I got ready to leave, I just grab my keys and walk on out the house. If I knew that my keys was not on that lock, that I knew something was wrong. And then I had spare keys that was on the lock, on the little hanging thing that you did that, you know, because I had a habit of, I said, well, I gave the keys, if I need somebody while I was on vacation, I ain't have to go get a key made. I just had a key. I'm going to tell you something. This guy was coming to my house every day. And I had to tell him, look, you need to go home. You coming over here every day after work. We ain't in that kind of relationship. We not. And he said, okay. And he said, I'm going to call you when I get home. Okay, good. Well, I went to bed. I promise you, I went to bed. Me, my kids, and at that time, my children, they young. They would crawl in the bed with me and go to sleep. I was turned this way. I turned back that way, opened my eyes, and that bastard was looking straight in my face. How did you get in my house? And he said the most calm and chilling thing I've ever heard in my life. He said, while I was walking out, I saw some keys near the door. He said, so I just took one. Okay. I said, okay. All right. He said, you ain't mad, are you? I said, no, I'm not mad. No, I'm not mad. I said, why don't you go on in the couch and lay down and go to sleep until my kids wake up? So you don't never let a crazy person know what you getting ready to do. You don't never let nobody volatile know what you getting ready to do. No, he wasn't dead, but he was crazy. And I didn't know where his mind went. So I said, okay. I said, all right. I said, he said, well, what you doing today? So, I'm laughing. I said, well, I gotta go do something. Well, I want to go with you. I said, no. I said, you know what? I was getting ready to do a surprise for you. I said, but I didn't want to tell you. I just want to do a surprise for you. I said, but if you come back at a time, I said, let me call you and then I'll show you the surprise. And I said, but if you come, you can't stay here. I said, because that's where the prize is. I mean, I'm talking, I'm talking some heavy duty stuff. So, okay. I'm on the phone, I'm texting somebody. Hey, pick me up some locks from the hardware store. How many you need? I need about 6. I need some deadbolts and I need some regular locks. He said, okay. I said, all right. He said, well, I'm finna go. So he was parked behind me. So I had to go like I'm going up the street. like I'm getting ready to get on the expressway, made a loop, came back, parked my car in the backyard. I went in the house. The first thing I did was I took that key holder down. I took it down. Changed all my locks. Front, deadbolt, regular locks. Did all that. Put them all in a bag. Threw them away. That's it. So, I didn't call him. But I had a friend that worked on the Memphis Police Department. I said, hey, I got this guy that's coming over to my house, and he came in my house while I was asleep. He said, Samantha, ain't you got an alarm? I said, yeah, but I didn't cut the alarm on. I said, because I didn't, I said, but I won't forget that next time. So he kept calling, when can I come over? When can I come over? When can I come over? I said, you know what? I said, the surprise didn't go that well. I said, right now, I just need some time to myself, blah, 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 blah. He said, oh, are you breaking up with me? Wait a minute. I didn't know we were dating. I just know that we was just hanging out a few times. So, go to sleep. Go to sleep that night. I said, okay. All of a sudden, I hear something. I got my alarm on this time. See this? Open up the door. This, crack it open. I didn't, open it up. Kind of, where you can see. This mofo trying to use his key to get back in. So finally, he figured it didn't work. I had a back door to my bedroom. It was like a foyer, like a small living room, and then it was my bedroom, but I made it foyer. He knocking on all the doors. So wait a minute. I'm calling 911. 911. I'm telling them. See, this man, my alarm is already on. I ain't finna open up the doors. All my windows is got things on. I ain't worried about that. So then he goes to my daughter's window. I mean, I'm following him. I'm following him. Because, I had a gate, so he had to come back around to go to the front. He gets to the front, and hearing him. He gets to my daughter, because my daughter is right next to the living room. Hey, Shanice. That's my daughter's name. Shanice. I said, this mother. I said, police pulled up. This is where it gets interesting. Police pulls up. He says, oh, this me and my girlfriend, and I live here. So, Memphis police that live in this district. No, I'm not living with nobody. All of them know that all the events I had in my house was for the police. No. I went outside, I told him everything. She gave me a key. I said, no, I didn't. I said, but you know what? If I wasn't living here, I wouldn't have had a key. No, I told him, I said, no. I said, you can come in the house. I let one of the police officers come in the house. I said, look and see if you see anything of his. Came back, man, you don't live here. You ain't even got no clothes here. You need to go on. I said, wow. I said, well, how did he, what? I found out that somebody put a curse on him. And whatever woman he had before me, I don't know. But like I said, you be careful who you let somebody come and stay at your house, hang out at your house. Don't be so quick to invite somebody at your house. Get to know. I tell my son all the time. He said, I said, do you know, have this woman that you met been to your house? He said, no, mama. He said, now we meet up at a public spot. We have fun. We laugh. And I come on, how long you been knowing her? He said, I've been knowing her for a month. He said, Mama, he said, I'm not trying. He said, I see all these men that have babies with these women and then they do all this stuff. He said, Mama, I'm scared. Thank you. But I'm going to tell you this. Everybody that you meet ain't mentally crazy. Some of these folks got hexes and foo-foos and hoo-hoos on them and all of that. I just thought I'd let you know that. And you said, well, now, you don't believe it. I tell you that Louisiana got it going on down there. And I promise you, it's real. And it do exist. Y'all be careful. I don't let everybody come to my house. And why should you? Because if you don't like them, and then one more thing. And if you just want to get cheeks with each other, have sex with each other, don't invite him to your house. Make him pay for a hotel. Make him pay for something. Don't just give him free cuckoo and free housing at the same time. Come on now. And the money that he's spending on a 5-star restaurant, he can put that in your pocket. Don't be so quick to come on now. If you gonna do something, don't do it at the house. Do it away from the house. And if he got a curse on you or he lost his damn mind, he ain't got to. If he come to your house by accident, you boom. But then don't be sitting up there giving him information of how he can find you. And then if you know he crazy, because some of these men, I'm telling you, they possessed. Stop telling them all your friends' names and your cousins and where you hang out at. Shoot. Now I don't know they don't need to know all of that. Have a cousin that he don't know about. Have a friend he don't know nothing about. Have somewhere you can go that not at the club that he don't know nothing about. So if you in some kind of bad situation with him, you can bounce it. You can bounce, go on over there and move on with your life. It ain't even got to be in the same city. Get somewhere that's in another town. It ain't got to be like years and yards away. If you live in Memphis, get somebody that's in Arkansas or Georgia or Mississippi that you can go. He don't know nothing about. You ain't inviting him nowhere. So when you get tired of him and you ready to bounce, you got to hide away. He ain't got to know. Don't call him. Block his number. If you're sharing your location, cut all of that off before you do anything. See, now, y'all give these men too much information to go find you and to know where you at. They know where your mama house at. No, y'all ain't in no relationship. I don't care yet. No, if he crazy, he don't need to know where your mama stay at. He don't need to know where your sister stay at. He don't need to know nothing about all of that. You can find out how stupid a man is in the first 60 days. And when you find that out and you find out he crazy, okay, well, I'm in this situation. Now how do I get out? Well, I can go stay with my mama. Or I can go stay with my uncle. Or I can go stay with my daddy. Or I can go stay with my cousin. Because he don't know nothing about them. Just be honest. Like I said, everybody ain't. It's some folks that's voodoo, hexed, whatever you want to call it. It is. What are your thoughts?